Howdy folks, Tex Grebner here with Tex Grebner Outdoors. This here is the first rifle that I ever bought with my own money. It's a Marlin Model 336 in 30-30 Winchester. It's a very popular deer and hog hunting rifle, and lately there's been a lot of interest in this rifle of mine, so I figured might as well make a video about it. So stay tuned. This is my Marlin 336 in 30-30 Winchester. I've gotten a lot of questions recently about scout optics on LeverAction, so I figured that I'd break it out and dress it up. First of all, I'm running a Marlin hammer spur. I have a Wild West Guns large loop. The stocks are all weather. They are in fact Champion Cadet stocks that are textured with Rust-Oleum foliage green furniture paint. I'm running an XS Scout Scope rail, Skinner tactical front and rear sight, and I have an AIM Sport, which is actually a very good Scout scope. I'm pleasantly surprised by it. It's a 2x7x32 with a duplex illuminated reticle. And I've used the Pine Ridge LeverAction scope before for a long time, but it is very heavy, and I don't shoot LeverAction, so this is pretty much a 100-yard tack driver for me. I don't really need the 200, 250, and 300-yard reticle. And this is an all-weather rifle. I had it out earlier today, re-zeroing it for the new scope, and this optic performed just fine in the driving rain, which I was pleasantly surprised with. The electronics are still functional. It did not fog up. And in over 150 rounds since I got it zeroed just playing around before I whipped the camera on, this rifle has not come off zero. So, as much as I hate to say that a $60 scope is actually pretty good, I'm pleasantly surprised with this particular AIM Sport optic as a scout scope. I do have it, of course, running in worn quick detach rings, and I have it at maximum eye relief. So, enough talk about the rifle. You probably want to see me run it. Now, I wouldn't be much of a rifleman if I didn't take it off the bench. So, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm about 95 yards standing. About 55 yards. It's my opinion that if you're going to mount a scope on a LeverAction, it needs to be a scout scope. This AIM Sport Scout scope actually impressed me a lot today with the way that it didn't fog up in the rain. It held zero, and the electronics remained watertight when it was raining earlier before I brought the cameras out. Illumination in a scout scope allows you to have a good contrast of your crosshairs if you're after wild boar. The scout scope allows you to shoot with both eyes open for depth perception, and mounting a scope gives you better light collection so that you can make more ethical shots. However, if you're going to mount a scope on a LeverAction, while a LeverAction is generally a brush gun 75 yards and in, I recommend that you mount it in scout configuration. The excess sight scout scope rail has been around for years and years. Worn rings have been around for years and years. And bush pilots outfit their guns this way. I am not a bush pilot, but I can say if those dudes are running their rifles this way, it generally works. Because in theory, their lives depend on that gun if they go down. It's kind of like how if you see a SEAL or a Force Recon guy running something, you know that it works because his ass depends upon it. And as a hunter, I can tell you that I would feel confident in taking on whitetail or hog with this particular rifle. And I might even take it after a grizzly if that's what came to it. But with all that being said, I'm actually impressed with the way this cheap scout scope performed. And I do honestly prefer iron sights myself. But if you're going to mount a scope, let me say it again, it needs to be mounted in scout configuration. That way it's out of your way, you can shoot with both eyes open, and if you use an illuminated reticle scout scope like this AIM Sport, it will give you good contrast of your reticle against what you're shooting at. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did enjoy watching, make sure to share this video so that good people get good, well-founded information. As always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Please check out my friends over at LegallyConcealed.org. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you serving in the military. And thanks for watching Tex Grebner Outdoors.